Thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille Show. It's great to be with you on a program that airs wherever you get your podcasting and social media content. Our studio in downtown Charlottesville on Market Street. Today's program is one I have been very excited for about, I'd say, a couple of weeks. We have friends in the studio. We have a brand and business that we support with our own money, with our own dollars, with our own time. We bring our kids, my wife and I, to this brewery, and we enjoy the beer, the ambiance, and the experience. It's a business and brand we have watched firsthand birth and blossom, and it continues to expand through either business acquisition or real estate development. But I will allow the stakeholders of said strategies to offer the perspective on what they are doing well. First, I want to give props to Judah Wickhauer behind the camera. For anyone who is on a stage or performing behind a microphone or camera, there's always people behind the microphones and cameras that allow folks like me to do what we love, which is human connection. So thank you, Judah Wickhauer. Why don't we go to the studio camera if we could, Judah, and let's welcome, I think, people that need little introduction, but still I'm going to ask them to do some introduction, starting with the head honcho, Dr. John Schoeb. The show is yours. Introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
Thanks very much, Jerry. Thanks very much, Judah. My name is John Schoeb. I am one of the four owners of Nata Brewery. My best friend and I, Andrew Messina, started it about 8 years ago. I was a full-time dentist up until about a year ago. And once we were sure that we were doing some expansion over into Staunton, I retired from dentistry, and now I'm full-time maintenance guy at Nata in Crozet.
He is absolutely crushing it, and he is a humble guy. I want to get another humble guy in the mix. Brian Combs into the mix. The show is yours. Introduce yourself to everyone that's watching.
Thanks, Jerry. I'm Brian Combs. I'm the music and social media marketing manager at Nata. I've been there since 6 months before day one, so it's been fun to watch the business grow, the brewery grow, and to get everybody's reactions from it. I enjoy getting the word out there, and I live in Staunton now, and I've got a wife and 3 kids, and between that and the brewery, I'm pretty busy.
He's pretty busy. Lindsey is also very busy. Lindsey Kerl, the general manager of Nata. Dozens and dozens of team members under your supervision. I can't wait to ask you some questions. Introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
I'm Lindsey Kerl. I'm the general manager at Nata Brewery in Crozet. I head up a big team there. We have lots of fun. Thanks to Brian and his music booking. We enjoy the shows, and it's a lot to keep up with. We're continuing to grow, between the stuff that Dino's bringing to the table and the expansions in Staunton. Outside of that, I have 3 boys at home, so I'm about the same as Brian. Between Nata and what I got going on at home, I stay pretty busy as well.
We know the feeling. John, the show is yours. This is breaking news I think you're going to hear first. Nata is expanding into the Shenandoah Valley. My friend, people are watching.
Thanks. We purchased the Coke building, and we're partnering up with Chip Clark and his BCS group for the steam plant building. About 8 months ago, I reached out to Jason McCall, who is the owner of Skipping Rock Brewery, about purchasing some used equipment from him. Todd Rath, who is my director of intelligent decision making, and I went over there just to purchase some kegs. And we met with Jason and Ben, the brewer, and we're just looking to pick up some kegs, some equipment that they were going to be selling. And over the past 8 months, this has morphed into something that just jumped the queue on all of our projects. Nothing that we were looking for, but we are purchasing the Skipping Rock Brewery location, and we actually start work on it tomorrow.
Unbelievable. Skipping Rock Brewery. Talk to us about, you've kind of highlighted already how this is materialized. Some folks would say, hey, you're expanding to downtown Staunton, and now you're buying a brewery that is not in downtown Staunton. What is going on here?
It was not something we were looking for. It's just Skipping Rock has some of the best equipment that's made in the world. And something that is so far above what we have right now at Nata. I took my brewer over there, and their old brewer came down, and a brewer that we're going to be hiring, who has won many World Cup beer gold medals, is going to be joining us as well. I can't mention him yet, but it's Nata is going to take. We're going to take our beer to the next level. I expect us to win lots of awards and people to really say, boy, they've upped their game there at Pro Renata. But the facility itself, Jason and his brother Curtis created a phenomenal facility, and through no fault of their own, it was the world of COVID. COVID kicked a lot of people below the belt. And we were lucky at Pro Renata that we were already established probably by about 4 years. They had just opened and this happened. So, no fault of their own. And so last January, 2 Januaries ago, they shut the business down, and we're in the process of trying to figure out what they were going to do with it. And it just, through Jason's determination, and working with him, we're purchasing the entire facility, everything in it, and we're ready to go and fired up.
That is amazing. I think you guys are going to have huge success. Brian and Lindsey, I'm going to weave you in the mix here. I'd like to pick John's brain for a couple more minutes. I think this is a brilliant decision. You have staff in place. You have a fantastic brand. You are well funded. You have business people in your corner. You're leading the charge here. Skipping Rock, the guys came on the show when they were opening their West Main tap room right at the start of COVID, before COVID hit, and there was tremendous excitement. As you've highlighted, this is a bit of bad luck with Skipping Rock. Talk to us about how you maintain brand consistency and brand standards as you expand.
Well, that goes back to the equipment that they have. Their equipment is 10 times better than what we have right now. We're upping our game with the new brewer. Having the right people in place. I mean, Brian and I have been together 9.5 years. I've got my other brewer at Pro Renata. He's been with me 8 years. It's keeping the team intact. Melissa, who does all the books and everything for us at Pro Renata, she and I have been together 18 years. She used to run my dental office. So we're going to keep all of our systems in place and just expand along those lines. We're not really changing a whole lot. It's just our big problem with where we are in Crozet is we can't make enough beer.
It's a good problem.
It is and it isn't. We're on septic fields, and we can only put so much water into the ground before those septic fields start to have problems. This Skipping Rock, I can go in tomorrow, turn on the lights, start brewing, and my problems in Crozet go away. So we're going to manufacture all of our beer over at Skipping Rock and ship it to Pro Renata, removing our brewing equipment at Pro Renata and Crozet and creating a new bar space, creating a lot more venues and rental spaces for customers to use.
Perfect segue to Brian. We have what is arguably one of the best music venues in Central Virginia, the venue that you are very much managing in Crozet. We have a venue that's now going to be added into the portfolio through the acquisition of Skipping Rock. We have a venue that's going to happen with the Coke building, a venue that's going to happen with the steam plant. From my standpoint, someone who's booking bands and passionate about music, having 4 venues at his disposal seems like an incredibly exciting time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Yeah, it's been fun to watch the music scene sort of grow at Pro Renata from the old tiny stage that we used to have to the new music facility that we have, and just to give some of these bands an opportunity. And one of the most things I'm the most proud of at Pro Renata is taking some bands that have reached out to me and haven't really been given a big stage, big platform to showcase their skills, but they've reached out to me and I was like, yeah, we'll give you a chance. We want to give everybody musically a chance to do it. And they've really, a lot of them have proved themselves. Just they've come, they've done the marketing for themselves. They've helped us. Disco Risque is a good example. I mean, they reached out to us about playing, and they played their first show, and we didn't know. We're like, it's Crozet. People are going to come and see Disco Risque. Well, they came the first time, and the place just blew up. Word got out. They packed our old stage, and they've been back 4 or 5 times since. The Barons, another example. They've gone on now to release albums. They're playing all over the East Coast. For me, that makes me feel really good. I mean, just to make that contact and bring them into our scene, I look forward to transitioning that over into Staunton as well. Staunton's got a vibrant music scene over there. I live in Staunton.
I know you do.
Yeah,
you're personally invested.
I'm personally invested. Some of these locations that in Staunton, I'm really close to. I live literally walking distance to the Coke building, so super excited about that. So I'm just looking forward to just parlaying what we've started in Crozet and bringing that over to Staunton as well. I mean, like you say, it's I think it might even be bigger in Staunton. I mean, the platform, the potential of the Coke building to do music there is huge. we can have a bigger stage, hopefully. So, and and Skipping Rock, the location is smaller, but we're looking for acoustic acts, and Staunton is littered with great acoustic music. So,
you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Peyton Alley, your boy, says John Schoeb looking handsome on the show right now. Dino is watching the program as we speak. You got the TV station down the road watching the program. You got the local newspaper watching the program right now. See a radio station watching the program right now. I got to get Lindsey into the mix right here. What a time to get a part of this team and this brand, and you're a general manager. You have arguably one of the fastest growing brands and breweries and businesses at your fingertips here.
Yeah.
In a leadership position. Put this all in perspective and what's going through your mind, and what are some of your goals for the near future with Pro Nata, you as the general manager.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the growth. It's a huge opportunity, and we're looking for people who want to work in a fun environment, who want to help us expand. We're going to offer full service, so I'm looking for experienced servers, bartenders, because we'll also have people that need to be behind the bar. So if you want to work in a fun environment and grow with us as we grow in Staunton, then you can contact me at info@prnbrewery.com or stop in Thursday through Saturday. If I'm not available, our front of the house manager, Judy, she'll be happy to help you as well.
Dino, we're going to get to your brand here and its expansion into the Skipping Rock location in a matter of moments. I'd love to throw this to Lindsey. Those that are looking for a job perhaps or to be a part of the team that were previously tied to Skipping Rock, is there an opportunity there for them?
Absolutely. We've heard nothing but great things about the prior employees, so we would love for you to contact us if you're interested in working at Pro Nata Plus.
I love it. It's Brian, I'm going to get you in the mix. How do you manage 4 venues? What's the strategy with 4 venues and the booking and the talents that are in your purview?
I think we just steer the course that we're doing now. I mean, the main focus is what we have on hand. It's just Crozet location. So we continue to book high caliber bands, to get some bigger bands coming through the area. And then it's just an opportunity because I get multiple bands coming through sometimes that, we're already booked. Well, now there's the potential to book at not only 1, but 2, 3, 4 maybe locations or something like that. So it's a good opportunity to have. So I'm always looking forward to upping the game, giving more people opportunities. Staunton's got the Staunton Jams in Staunton. I'm looking forward to hopefully being a part of that, bringing our facilities as another option for people to play at.
Todd Rath giving you boys some props. John Schoeb knows the man well, friend of the program, valued viewer and listener, Todd Rath, watching the show. Dino, I'll throw this to John. I mean, you saw passion and hard work and integrity, commitment to detail with Dino and what he's doing. You welcome Dino not once, but twice to your Crozet location with his Dino's brand and his Move Through brand. His story is extremely compelling. Explain or highlight expansion opportunities for partners of Pro Nata, for example. Dino's a good one.
Right. So, yeah, Dino's going to be coming with us to Skipping Rock 100%. We've been over there a number of times. It's going to be a little bit different menu than what he's doing now, definitely his pizzas. But we want to try some different things over there. And he's got a really good crew of people that work with him. And, Dino is a super hard worker and understands the opportunities that this country has given him, and that's one of the things that is most endearing about Dino to me is he just can't believe how in this country there are certain things that you can do, and he's taking full advantage of it. And Jay, who's his right hand, is the same way. I mean, these guys are from Albania, and things back home are way different than what they are here, and they just appreciate what we can offer.
Kenny Gaspa, watching the program right now, says, let's go, let's go, let's go. Lauren Marshall Morris, woohoo, giving Lindsey some props. Let's go, Lindsey. Bill McChesney, Kimmy Ingram, watching the program. See media all over the show right now, guys. The breaking news, if you're watching, is this team is acquiring the Skipping Rock brand, its infrastructure, and is expanding to the Skipping Rock location. This question's coming on the feed. What happens to the brand Skipping Rock?
So we're not acquiring the brand.
Okay, there we go.
They own Pale Fire up in Harrisonburg. Okay. They are keeping the brand. We're buying all the assets, but not the brand.
Got it. Andre Xavier, hello. Thank you for watching. Jennifer Hawks, thank you for watching. Logan Wells Claylo. What is your day-to-day like now that you've retired as a dentist and you're expanding in downtown Staunton and the Skipping Rock location, and of course crushing it in Crozet?
I have such a good job right now. I really do. I get up in the morning and I'm going back and forth with emails. We just came from a staff meeting at Pro Nata, and then coming here and doing this. I've got 3 meetings tomorrow morning at Skipping Rock. I'm not the day-to-day guy whatsoever. I love the big picture, get things going, and then turn it over to Brian, turn it over to Lindsey, turn it over to Judy, and let them grow themselves and grow my brand. And I would say 98% of the time, for example, Lindsey knows what I'm thinking and has already done it when I suggest it to her. And that's the same with Melissa and Brian. And one of the things with Brian's got a really tough job because he has to say no a lot. We get 30 to 40 bands a week that want to play at Pro Nata. Now Brian's going to be able to say yes some more. And then when Steam Plant comes online and when Coke comes online, we're going to have 4 music venues for the Barons to play in. And Peyton, you're welcome. But it's going to make Brian's job a lot easier. He's got to tell people no a lot, and that's not easy.
Brian, I'm going to get you in the mix. Lindsey, I'm going to get you in the mix. I'll prep you with what I want to ask you. Lindsey, is why join this team? What was the upside you saw? Brian, this question or this comment's coming from Staunton, a gentleman that's tied to government in Staunton. He says, we cannot thank Pro Nata enough for their investment into Staunton, and that's John Blair watching the program as we speak. Brian Combs, how does the brand, in your eyes, continue to grow and develop? What would you like to see? How do you contribute a lot of hard work to help it boom?
Like I say, I live in Staunton. I love Staunton, and I frequent some of the other breweries in Staunton. Red Beard's great. I've been hanging out there for a couple of years, and there's always room for more opportunities, for more choices, I guess you could say. And I've been to Skipping Rock when it was open with my family, and I took the kids there and all that, and I loved hanging out there. It's just a good atmosphere. They made great beer. It was very comforting, and you'd see music, in their little corridor out back. And when they closed, I was a little bit sad because it was like, oh, well, it's gone. So, and I'm not the only one. I've heard many people around town saying, you know what, it's been hard for me to just bite my tongue, not say anything to anybody. I've been keeping the secret for a while. But people have been asking about, they see me wearing a Pro Nata shirt or hat or something like that, and the conversation migrates to the beer in Staunton, and I just, in my mind, I was thinking, I can't wait to get the word out that Pro Nata is bringing what we've built in Crozet over to Staunton. And I don't really see it changing much at all. I just see kind of taking what we've started in Crozet and doing it in Staunton, making the beer there. Great brewing. Like John says, the brewing equipment is incredible.
We're not letting the cat out of the bag today, but John has already kind of teased this. A new brewer is joining the team soon. That's their news to get out there when the time is right. I'm excited to see what happens with that development at Pro Nata. The word on the street is it's an esteemed brewer that's joining the team. Lindsey, we'll throw this to you. Why join this team? I think I see why, but why? What made your decision or helped make your decision to join this team?
Well, I'd been in the service industry for a while. Since I was probably about 16, I started out, so on and off, I would say probably about 19 years. I was the GM of several restaurants. The opportunity for growth was there, and John and I had a friend in common, kind of put us in contact. We kind of just, we made that connection, and I knew it was right. And now I'm super happy that I made that decision.
Here's a fantastic question. Some of the changes that we can expect at the Skipping Rock location from Skipping Rock current.
Sure. We actually start painting the whole facility tomorrow. That is pretty exciting. So we're starting that. One of the things that we're doing over there is it's going to be full service with liquor as well. So what we came up with the name was it's going to be called Pro Nata Plus, and Plus is for the liquor.
That's smart.
So Brian and I were a part of a CBD dispensary, and if we ever got our weed license, we were going to call it Pro Nata Plus, and that went by the wayside. So we needed a name, and I think that comes up to, do you want to go to Pro Nata Crozet or you want to go to Plus? Kitchen-wise, we're going to be a full-service restaurant. We're actually taking our big food truck over there, but there's also an indoor kitchen as well. And just again, just up in the game. Jason and his brother Curtis did a phenomenal job out there. They were always busy. And so there's not a whole lot we want to change from what they did.
Was it challenging, or was it a difficult decision, or something you deliberated over a period of time, adding the liquor piece to the brewery piece? Because I guess the old guard or the old school would say perhaps you don't mix them. From my standpoint as a business person, more options means more customers. A great example of this, my mother-in-law, who visits all the time for Long Island, she is committed to drinking only Chardonnay.
Sure.
Only wants Chardonnay. So oftentimes we are choosing where to go because we want to keep everyone in the group happy. If a place has Chardonnay or does not, sometimes that makes the decision if we show up there.
You have to give the customer what they want. And Pro Renata started out as just beer. Number one question everyone said to us was, why don't you have wine? Well, at that time we couldn't. The laws changed. We added wine. We've added RTDs. We've added cider. We've added all of these things. You have to cater to what the customers want. So we're super excited. I've never run a liquor bar before. Lindsey has, and we have some other people that have done it. And we're excited for that part of it as well.
Juan Sarmiento, who works for Charlottesville Transit right here, he says, Lindsey, are you related to Coda?
I am. He's my brother-in-law.
We knew that. He's a brother-in-law right there. A very talented musician. Speaking of musicians, in Coda right there. I'm going to throw this to you. How's the real estate development piece going? Maybe a little newer for you here in downtown Staunton. Walk us through the backside of it, the non-sexy part of the real estate development.
At Skipping Rock?
Sure, at both locations.
Yeah, and the big elephant in the room is I've been dealing with the Staunton zoning officials and Augusta zoning officials, which, by the way, have been such an eye-opening, pleasant experience.
You mentioned that in comparison to...
we're going to leave it at that.
Okay, all right, we'll leave it at that. Fair enough.
But, for example, I went out to the Augusta County offices, and we needed a special use permit for the food truck. They said the deadline this was on a Tuesday, the deadline to get this in for this next period of time is Friday. We'll clear our schedule tomorrow afternoon if you want to come back, and we'll get it in so we can get you done. I mean, I looked at them like they had three heads. They've been nothing but accommodating, nothing but great. But what everybody wants to know is what's happening with the Coke and Steam plant.
Right.
Steam plant, we're hoping to break ground in August. And all the Skipping Rock / Pro Renata Plus, all that's done is push Coke. It jumped the queue. This was something we had to do financially. It made so much sense for us. We're not abandoning the Coke facility. It just got pushed back a little bit. This deal took about 8 months to get done. And I've been working on the Coke building for 6 years. It's not going anywhere right now.
Neil Williamson watching the program, president of the Free Enterprise Forum. He covers this closely. He says, it's a fair question. How did the Albemarle growth restrictions impact Pro Renata's expansion to leave Albemarle?
We had to.
Yeah.
We had to.
You highlighted this on the last show. If memory serves correct, it was the septic line, and it was a very small distance. The line had to be expanded, and the reception from the supervisor in the district, Supervisor Malik, who very interestingly is in the middle of her 5th consecutive term limits, excuse me. And that's my comment right there. That's not John's comment. That's my comment. Offer some perspective here. I think that's where Neil's going. You can go anywhere you want. I won't push back.
Yeah, again, Pro Renata, we're zoned rural agricultural. It's farmland. There is a septic line that makes a left-hand turn into Western Albemarle and a right-hand turn into Old Trail. We are not allowed to tap into that line because we are 1,000 feet out of the growth zone. So I approached some people in government and said, here's what we need to do. Is there any chance we could get this brought down? No. So I said, I understand that was what you're going to say. We're going to be investing millions of dollars over into Staunton. 2 years later, we now hear about AC 44, where they may be developing 2 of the interchanges in this area. One is in Pantops and one is in Crozet. It's too late. We've already spent our money. We'll still tie into a septic line, but we would have loved to have spent those millions of dollars here in Albemarle County. We had to go elsewhere.
And put in perspective, not only the millions of dollars in Albemarle, but the jobs created. What are we talking job expansion here? New jobs created.
Construction, doubling Lindsey's staff, making the facility larger. Millions. And all I got was no.
There you go, folks. This question's been shared by Deep Throat, who's number one in our family. That's his nickname. It's for Lindsey. And Lindsey, he talks about restaurant headwinds. Those challenges have been well documented, whether it's labor, finding labor, whether it's how the consumer is now enjoying their meals, often through third-party apps delivered to their house on their couches. I, for one, my family, for one, loves the in-person experience. What are the challenges that most concern you? First question, and then how do you navigate them?
Challenges as far as at Pro Renata currently, or the challenges that we're facing?
Just in kind of the restaurant industry. Like whether it's labor, anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, finding help. Luckily, we had a great team in place when I came aboard. So a lot of those people have been there for years. So that part kind of came easy for me, thankfully. That just goes to show a lot for John that he was able to keep that staff in place for that long. Obviously, when we do grow, finding good help is going to be a challenge. We're fun. It's an exciting place to work. We're continuing to grow. So I'm hoping just by putting that out that people will be interested in coming to work with us and grow with us, because we're not only are we going to have the Skipping Rock location, but we're going to have the Coke building and the steam plant. So there's tons of opportunities, to not only work at one location, but possibly all of them.
This is a great question. That was a great answer. How about any distribution or retail goals or opportunities on the horizon? People love your beer.
I'm going to go at 0.001%.
Okay.
We are so fortunate. I'm not sure there are any breweries that don't distribute that are our size. We're fortunate enough that we have enough people coming there and buying our product on site that it's just distribution's not a game I really want to get into. I liken it back to my days of dentistry when we did a procedure for $500 and we got paid $250. And $250 just had to be written off. Distribution is just not something I've ever been interested in. I'm not saying no, but it's just an ugly world.
What this question for you? We see Richmond Legend Brewery is for sale. We've seen call them Gen Zers and younger show an affinity for seltzer. Show an affinity. Todd's watching the program for cider. The palate of the consumer is ever changing.
100%.
Put in perspective where you see the industry going from when you started to where you are now. It's certainly more competitive. I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's incredibly competitive. We have to add different options. I'm on Dino all the time for different food options. We're always talking about what's a hot new seltzer that's out there. What are people asking for? One of the things that I think has made us successful, and I know you talk about it all the time, Jared, when you go out, your mother-in-law or father-in-law comes in and you're running up a $150 tab at lunch. Well, that's a 1 hour. We have people at Pro Renata that are spending that same amount of money, $150, over 3 hours. It's now $50 an hour. We're a value add. Kids are playing on the playground. We've got music going. You're talking to the guy next to you who's a Philadelphia fan, and it's just this great atmosphere. And when you divide it by the hours that you stay there, you're getting a way better deal.
Sherry Dunaway watching the program, dropping heart emojis left and right for Lindsey right now. Lindsey's getting a lot of props on the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, Mom.
As expected, we knew she'd be getting some props. Same question for you, Brian. You know this industry inside and out. What's really impressed me with the Crozet location and why we go is the opportunity for our 6-year-old, and our youngest is 18 months. So he's staying pretty close to mom and dad, but our 6-year-old can run to a playground, does not have to be next to us. Most importantly for my wife and I is off screens. We despise the screen time when it comes to our boys. You guys have created this like omni-experiential epicenter of entertainment. It's axe throwing, it's music, it's good food, it's good beer, it's playgrounds, it's sweet views, it's a fire pit, it's like the water cooler of Crozet of conversation. And I appreciate that it's not just a one silo experience. It's there's multiple experiences all in one. And I think that's a value proposition that you offer that maybe a lot of your competitors do not. I think we're seeing some of your competitors trying to duplicate it in some ways.
100%.
It's no secret that that's what's happening here, and I'm not going to name any. I think folks know who they are. Throw the evolution of the brand as it applies to people like you and I who have gone from maybe single guy beer drinkers to married guy beer drinkers to now parental beer drinkers.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so it's just as an example, my wife and I would like to go out occasionally and we'd take the family out and have a beer, have a pizza, have some food, have some conversation with some friends. But when you go, it's often challenging with 3 little kids to maintain their attention for any period of time to have an adult conversation at the same time. So yeah, I just feel like we have a lot to offer there for the kids, especially because there's plenty of room to stretch out. We have the shipping container bar out back. You got the kids, the brand new kids play area over there for them to play at. So they can be entertained. They can have a good time. They can come and hang out with mom and dad. Mom and dad can keep an eye on them. We can see them, but we can have it just an hour or two of just relaxation. Watch the kids have a good time. We can talk. So just keeping it fresh, keeping it unique. Sometimes we get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. So we always want to we have a saying, just there's always something going on at Pro Nata. So we don't want to do the same thing everybody else is doing. We want to do something different, something unique.
Same question for you, Lindsey. I mean, you're running the brewery, and most importantly, you're a mom.
Yeah.
Put that in perspective.
So it makes it easier to be able to, manage, what can sometimes be chaotic out, at Pro Nata. Sometimes you have children who are running around and doing their own thing. So being a parent, you have that, you kind of understand, like, okay, they're kids, they're going to run around, they're going to do things, but you're also having hawk eyes, you're watching them constantly. You want to make sure that they're within view of their parents and things like that. So, but we enjoy coming there. I come there, my husband comes, he brings our 3 boys, we bring our dog. She loves coming there. She gets a pup cup from Dino's, so the boys get pizza and ice cream. But yeah, it's the same thing as like what Brian said, it's a great environment to come. It's ever changing. There's music. Obviously Coda plays there, so my family likes to come out when he's out for performing at Pro Nata. But yeah, being a mom, it does help being able to manage, being family friendly.
Last question for you. What can we expect with all this growth and expansion from your beloved brand?
It's just different locations. It's going to be the same thing that we do at Pro Nata. I mean, we're not really going to be changing anything other than establishing liquor out there. It's the same food. It's going to be a lot of the same bands, and I just love my job. I love who I work with. I love seeing people coming back there, and it's their bar, and the same people are coming over and over and over again. We're getting new people. It's fun. It's exciting. Growth is exciting.
John Schoeb, guys, he is a fantastic visionary. Brian Combs, I sincerely mean this. He is a pro's pro when it comes to brand management and management of bands and digital and social media. I mean that. I have been impressed from you from day one when I got to know you. And Lindsey is as good of an addition to a team as you're going to find. I first met Lindsey at La Tasa in Belmont. Yes. And now she is the general manager of one of the fastest growing beer brands in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's just absolutely fantastic. I am so grateful for you guys coming to the show. I love what you guys do. I love talking about local stuff. Thank you for coming to the program. I sincerely mean that.
Appreciate what you do, Jerry, and thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. Judah's going to go to the studio camera. He will, if you guys want to head that way. I appreciate everyone that's watching the program. A lot of local media watching the show. If you're just tuning in, the breaking news here on the I Love CVille Show is the acquisition of assets. Pro Nata and John's team have acquired the assets of Skipping Rock. and are now expanding this brand and this portfolio to fantastic positions in the Shenandoah Valley. And of course, complementary positions to their Crozet location, where they've become, see you guys, where they've become the Disneyland of Crozet. The experience at the Crozet spot is almost unmatched. I think Three Notch has done a very good job of creating this type of omni-experiential opportunity at the old Wild Wolf. But when you go to the Pro Renata location in Crozet, you get a sense of community, you get a sense of quality food, great beer, you got the playground, you got the music, you got the fire pit, you got the Blue Ridge Mountain views, axe throwing, the back bar, the televisions for sports. It's just so many things to do. And that's why you see so many families as patrons of this location. I'm excited to watch Pro Renata manage 4 music venues. The smallest venue will be the venue at the old Skipping Rock location. The second largest venue will be the Crozet location. And then that would be the second smallest Crozet. And then the 2 largest will be the Coke and the Coke building and the steam plant in downtown Staunton. So you have so much upside if you're a local musician or a local band. So many potential places to play or grow your track as musicians or as band members with this Pro Renata family. Judah Wickhauer will weave you in the mix. Give me a thumbs up when we have a 2-shot on screen to get you on. He's the director and producer of the show. He deserves some props for all he's done today. I know that was a lot to navigate. 3 guests and a bunch of different, what do we have, 8 cameras here and 5 microphones. You manage it extremely well. Thank you. We got a programming note if you want to hold the book up in front of you. Kurt R. Johnson is going to join us tomorrow. He's the author of the book that Judah has in his hands. I read it yesterday. Mr. Johnson was a teacher in Charlottesville High School last year and into this year, and he put in a book his firsthand experience of what it was like to be a teacher at Charlottesville High School. He is documenting firsthand experience as a teacher, and some of the experiences he's documented in this book. We'll talk with him tomorrow on the show. He's live in studio. Not the most pleasant. He's talked about rampant drug use on campus. He's talked about sex with students on the campus at Charlottesville High School. Brawls, cell phone usage, students running unchecked. You've heard of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, in this case, it's sex, drugs, and brawling. So we'll have the perspective from a teacher on set tomorrow. Mark your calendars for that one. Judah, I have some breaking news for the viewers and listeners who are watching the program. We do a show on Tuesdays called the Jerry and Jerry Show, featuring myself and Jerry Ratcliffe, the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, and the award-winning newspaper journalist, the man behind JerryRatcliffe.com. He covers the UVA athletic department more than anyone, or better than anyone. And on today's show, he broke news in 2 regards. The first regard was as how it applies to Elijah Gertrude, a talented rising second year who, according to his sources on the show, has been involved into a scooter accident, was involved in a scooter accident, you know, like the Lime scooters, the Bird scooters, is it Velio scooters? An accident that caused, according to his sources, the serious damage of his knee to the point where he looks like he's redshirting. He also has some breaking news, how it applies to the transfer portal and a Kansas State point guard that is about to commit to the University of Virginia. Do you have that sound for us? All right, let's cue that up in 3, 2, 1.
Let's see, hold on. Why is that playing? Give me just a second. We'll have the video live in just a second.
Following your lead. Eliza Gertrude, the news is pretty concerning here.
All right.
The show is yours, my friend.
Yeah, again, according to a very reliable source, someone I totally trust, he has confirmed that the Elijah Gertrude rumor about him tearing up his knee in a scooter accident a couple of weeks ago is true, and that Gertrude will miss the season. Yeah, that's huge, especially considering that the kid was red. They removed his red shirt last year. I guess they can use it now, and that that he was playing so well, and it was when the other kid tore up Hardy's ankle, nearly broke his ankle, and they pressed him into service, and he just never was able to get a lot of court time. I think his jump shot was off a little bit, and it was tough. But again, he's one of the most explosive athletes to join this program in the Tony Bennett era. So a lot of people were expecting a huge year from him athletically, and if he's out, that's certainly a blow to the program. But the other news from the source, again, a very trusted source, is that Day Ames, the transfer portal guard from Kansas State with 3 years of eligibility, is expected to sign soon with Virginia, and that would shore up the backcourt and give them somebody with starting experience on the major college basketball level at point guard, which should be exciting to Virginia fans because this kid can play, and like I said, it sounded like he got better and better as the season went along, and that certainly adds to that position with Christian Bliss back there, and the Worley kid from Florida State who has 3 years of starting experience at point guard, so they can throw a variety of point guards at you again in Tony Bennett fashion, where he likes to sometimes play more than one point guard. You got a 6'7" guy with experience who is not a great shooter, but is a good playmaker, can drive. Then you've got Day Ames, who can shoot it, who can play make, and Christian Bliss, who I think is going to be a fantastic point guard for Virginia over his career.
That's great. So, guys, if you follow Virginia basketball, and who doesn't follow Virginia basketball, the news from the Jerry and Jerry show this morning, I believe that is the first of any media to report this. Elijah Gertrude, the rising second-year combo guard on the Virginia basketball team, has been involved, according to Jerry Ratcliffe sources, in a pretty significant scooter accident. So significant that he has suffered knee damage, and the plan is to redshirt him. That, according to Hootie Ratcliffe's sources, the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. Furthermore, he confirmed today on the show that Day Ames, the point guard from Kansas State, who's intrigued by UVA, will make a commitment as early as this weekend. And Day Ames clearly sees an opportunity with one of the backcourt positions opening with Gertrude's injury. Last item out of the notebook, you put us on a two-shot if you could. There's a UVA law professor that goes by the name of Thomas Frampton, professor at law at UVA. And Professor Frampton has put on Twitter some of the repercussions and the punishments that protesters are facing from the 2 Saturdays ago, the protest that made, I'd say, national headlines.
Yeah, definitely.
A protest that had a Virginia State Police in riot gear with pepper spray breaking the protest up. This UVA professor, you can follow him on Twitter at tframpton, TFRAMPTON. He says from court, which was yesterday, dozens of undergrads, grad students, and staff, faculty, and community members that UVA had Virginia State Police violently arrest at the pro-Palestine protest are amongst the best in our community. They are great and good. Here is his update. UVA has placed degree holds on seniors that were involved in the protests, so their degrees are on hold. 2, they're barred from most campus life via NTOs. I believe that's notice to owner. Or a trespassing order, one of those two. 3, they filed university disciplinary charges against them. And 4, they've said 0 about the criminal cases. This particular professor says to rebuild trust, the first step for the UVA administration is to forgive or absolve those that were involved in the protest from some of these accountability measures. I mean, holding somebody's degree in limbo is uncalled for.
Does collectively, does all of that seem excessive?
The whole turn of events has been excessive.
Yeah.
Tear gassing and pepper spraying kids.
Yeah.
Using
definitely.
the Virginia State Police as a militant force. Excessive.
I mean,
furthermore excessive, the professors that are protesting how Jim Ryan's administration handled this by holding grades hostage and not issuing students grades as a form of protest, that's excessive.
Yeah.
The protesters saying that the investment arm of UVA needs to divest itself of all Israel investments is excessive. The protesters saying that the university should not have any curriculum, including study abroad in Israel, is excessive. And now the university administration punishing protesters by holding their degrees in purgatory or in limbo, hostage, if you may, and barring them from campus life is excessive. This is just an ugly situation across the board.
No doubt. I feel like they just drank some insanity juice, like everybody there at UVA. The cops drank it before they went on campus, and yeah, it's just nuts. I mean, was anything that the students did worthy of all this punishment? You know, it's funny. It's funny that we're talking about punishments at schools. There's an article talking about how local high schools are looking to switch over to a type of social justice as an alternative to the usual punishments, you know, suspension, expulsion, that type of thing. And it's a stark contrast to what we're seeing here.
I'm as a Charlottesvillian, as an Albemarle Countyan, as someone who's been in this community for 24 years, as someone with ties to UVA, as someone whose father and brother went to UVA, as a regular sporting event ticket purchaser at the University of Virginia, someone with a platform, I am disappointed across the board, and most disappointed with Jim Ryan's administration. Mm-hmm. Because he led the charge on what has become significant collateral damage. Significant collateral damage that has tarnished the brand that is UVA, and it's unfortunate. I want to talk, I'll close on this. Make sure you join us on tomorrow's program. You hold the book up again. The book is called what? Schooled? The Miseducation of an American Teacher by Kurt R. Johnson, a resident of the Charlottesville area who spent the last year as a teacher at Charlottesville High School. And he has documented in the book that Judah was just holding what it was like to be a teacher at Charlottesville High School, the only high school in the city of Charlottesville. We will put that perspective, that experience into perspective tomorrow on the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us. For Judah Wickower, my name is Jerry Miller. So long, everybody.